Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi ramp on the draw for game one. Opponents mulligan down to 5. We mulled our first hand with 0 lands. This hand has 1. If we are able to find a forest or forest equivalent or a lab off top, this hand becomes a lot better. I mean, that's 9, 10, 11, 14, or 15 hits off top. So it is very tempting, especially with 15 hits for deep. I mean, it's better than 33% odds. Or sorry, better than 25% odds. So probably close to like 27% per card seen. And it gets better per card seen there after the first. Sure. Pitch the breaker. Done. Let's play the numbers, see if the numbers play us. Yeah, 15 hits off top is not bad in general, but being able to have 15 hits and dig 4 deep, I mean, we're getting pretty close to 90% odds, I'm pretty sure. Reveal, pass. So again, lab or forest to forest equivalent. Bloodstained Mire, fetch 19. 4. Blood Crypt Shock, 17. Thoughtseize. Moonshadow, okay. Bauble. Bauble target. They should wait on the bauble target. Okay, they targeted me before the Devour trigger, so that's kind of pointless, sure. They had no reason not to wait until after the trigger resolved, so that way they could actually know what I pulled off of Devour. Well, yield all. There's Ghost Quarter. Not my favorite pull here, but it is workable. I'll grab the Ghost Quarter, play the Temple, and pass. And pass. We need to ramp this Devour to get rid of this Moonshadow. Just hope they don't have enough acceleration to beat me down too quick with a slow hand. Black, Nethergoyf. 2/3, 2/2, 3/3. Fetch, trigger. Up to a 3/3. Surveil. 4/4. Down to 16. This very well might be too slow. 2 in hand. Second main, we draw. Temple. I will play the Temple, cast the Talisman, and pass. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can actually play Ice till next turn if we want. We'd have to Ghost Quarter on land to get a forest, though. Down to 9, 2 in hand. Lethal's very close to being on board here. This is quite the awkward predicament. I will Rumble. There's a blocker for the Nethergoyf, if nothing else. Shifting Woodland, Bajukabog, Commercial District. You have to be joking me that these are the lands we find. Let's grab the Bajukabog, the Shrink the Goyf. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bajukabog, target you. And pass. So the Goyf has been shrunk. Bolt, target, heat. We sack in response, we pass. Fortunately, I have no follow-up. So we're looking to take 5 right now. 6 with the Verdant Catacombs, 7 with the Verdant Catacombs. Shit, or 1 off. So they find another Surveil into a type we lose. That's 7. They're 1 short. And there's the Bloodstained Mire. we will concede. Yep, that is exactly 8. I mean, I have no reason to think that they don't realize. Abrupt Decay also takes me off of the Devour. Yep, they had it. So this is Moonshadow. Lost for game 1. Yeah, just a bit of a too slow of a hand, unfortunately. So K return out, 6 out. There's still a chance they play some land destruction. Bojuka Box stage, Gemstone in. I'm thinking he in, Dismember in, and run it back like this to start. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Quite unfortunate, though. Decks like this is where having Chalice instead of Bauble actually would be prudent. But I do think Bauble overall is probably better than Chalice in most contexts. Well, not in most contexts, but in a good number of them, at least in Modern. Because, yeah, I imagine a Chalice on 1 here would be pretty good in this matchup, to say the least. On the play for game 2. Hand's pretty meh unless we find another soul land or untapped land on 2. We could always cycle the K command. We have Dismember for interaction. It's not the worst hand in the world, but it is risky. 22 lands, 21, 2 tap, 19 hits off top, but if we whiff, what then? Go to mulligan. And is much better by comparison. I will keep. Question is what we pitch. So 2, 3, 4, 5 on 2. I'd almost like to keep the Ugin. So I'm tempted to pitch the Catacomb, given that Devour. No, we'll pitch the Ugin, I think. Reveal and trigger. Formidable Speaker, Sprawl. In that case, we could play Speaker on 2, but what would we pitch to Speaker? I guess the Verdant Cat. We'll grab Speaker. Imprint, Devour. Talisman, and pass. And pass. This way, even if they Thoughtseize on 1, we're fine. 19. Blood Crypt Shock 17. Moonshadow or Seize. There's the Seize for the Myco. They take the Myco as expected. I mean, it wasn't exactly much in the way of choice, now was it? Speaker. Speaker pitch, Verdant Cat, 2, 4, 5, 6. We will grab another Myco spawn. Could also grab Ice Till, but we'll grab the Myco. And pass. And pass. Kicking a land here seems pretty decent. And then ramping into the Devour. What say you, opponent? Green. Paying cost. Dismember. Dismember. Down to 11 Nether Goyf. We can shrink the Goyf off of Bojuka Bog. We draw. Heat. Unfortunately, we're short on heat. That is unless... No, we have the Bojuka Bog. Yes, green. Myco. Let's shrink the Goyf. 2, 4, 5. Oh, did I exile the Bojuka Bog? Sure enough, I did. In that case, Temple or Fetch Surveil? 2, 4, 5, 7. We'll go for 7. Excuse me. We'll pass. We can always block and heat the Netherglyph next turn, would be my thought. Stomping Grounds, Shock, 9. Charmal hits Lab. So we were right about the land destruction. Yeah, everything kind of came up opponent. We played around the Thoughtseize, but then they had to dismember for the speaker. Yeah, everything came up opponent, honestly. Damn. No blocks. We'll draw. Breaker. We're short on Breaker. We'll pass. I mean, we can get rid of the Netherglyph next turn, as it stands. But we're definitely not exactly in a good position. Right now I need a temple for the Breaker. If we can get the Breaker on board, we're in a decent position. Bloodstained Mire fetch to 8. Okay. Surveil. Maybe they buff the Netherglyph. They already have an instant in Yard, so as long as they don't get above X6, we should be fine to clear the Glyph after blocks. Keeps it on top. Is this a Rumble? No. Renin 6. Can pick up a land. Fetch later. Yep, because they already played their land for turn. Combat, swing, block, damage. Netherglyph, and pop the Glyph and pass. We'll draw. Commercial District Surveil. That's 8, 9 damage on board, which means Windswept Teeth is useless. Yeah, I'm trying to think of my outs here, but there is not much going for me, I don't think. Does not look good. We're just 1 turn short in game 1, and the opponent was just ahead of me 1 additional turn. The Traverse will buff the Glyph. That will be 9, 10 damage that they're representing. Yes, that is lethal on board. Rampager. Yep. Oh, I guess that isn't because Thoughtseize was already in Yard. So, yep. And then buffed, lethal. You got it. All right, we'll be back for match 2. All right, we're back for match 2 on the play for game 1. We'll keep. Commercial District Surveil, Breaker to Yard, and pass, and pass. Looking for a soul land ideally off the top. Breeding Pool, Shock 18. Green, Might. Okay. We draw. Wooded Foothill. Windswept Teeth fetch. For a forest and Rumble. Still whiffing on the soul land. We'll grab the Ice Till instead to ramp and try and dig for a soul land and also add more types to the yard for Emrakul. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 short Emrakul. Boots. Emery. And there's Emery. We could K-return next turn. Cuts off the cutter in yard. I think that is probably correct. Not what I want to be doing, but I do think it is the correct play. So in that case, we'll go Wooded Foothill and K return while they're tapped out. Might trigger and pass. 6 types in yard, 9 again, 4, 3 short, Emrakul. We'll fetch on end step and bring in a Stomping Ground tapped. Scouting Tarn, fetch 19. Steam Vent Shock 17. Cutter. Pithy Needle in response fetch. Stomping Ground tapped and pass. We'll take 2 down to 16. What does Pithy Needle name? Names Windswept Teeth. Sure. So this is so when people ask me why do I run 4 different fetches, this is why. Because if I ran nothing but Wooded Foothills, opponent could name Wooded Foothills, and that would put me behind on this Ice Till. Shifting Woods, pretty good. So again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to Myco Spawn rather than Ice Till. Yield all. Temple. And pass. And pass, because next turn we have Emrakul. Mox Opal trigger. I mean, we're going to block, so moot point there. 2 in hand. This is definitely Cutter. It's not Song of Creation. What we playing here, friend? Flame of Anor. Target self. Draw 2. Sure, sure. Surveil. You have a way to buff the monk? You do not. We'll take the 3. Down to 13. End step, draw. Forest and Emrakul. Triggers, yield all. I'm going to say no. Paying cost 4. Metallic Rebuke. No. That's fine, though, since we have the Shifting Wood. We'll pass our turn, comrade. There's a Flame. Well, that's fun. We'll draw Tamiyo. Even better. So what I can do then is we can get rid of a monk. We could play the Tamiyo, which would allow us to use 2 modes of flame, destroy an artifact and 5 damage to target creature, hitting Tamiyo. That's probably the right move in the grand scheme. Let's go to main, go to combat. We're going to attack with a monk. Unfortunately, it will give them another monk, but I think that is fine right now. Untap target legendary permanent. So we'll cast Tamiyo. Flame, cast. 5 damage, destroy target artifact. Destroy Corey's Steel Cut. Flame the Tamiyo. Green, red, blue. Cutter will trigger, the monk will trigger, but we'll choose not to equip the monk with the cutter. No. Tamiyo down, empty-handed, and we'll pass. One card in hand, so they shouldn't be able to trigger. I guess Cutter's gone, so moot point. Opponent scoops it up, we'll take the win. Solid win against Cutter in game 1. Looking at sideboard, they play Blood Moon, Damsphere, Strix, Consign, Force. 6 might be okay here. K returns alright. The only downside is it doesn't clear Tamiyo. So I'm thinking we probably go Heat here, but Jukabog stays for sure. Number of basics looks to be 2, so we want the Ghost Quarter for sure. We can trim a Rumble. The next question becomes whether or not we want Trinisphere or Bauble. I want to say we do want Trinisphere. I'm thinking we might want to drop 6 and an Ugin. How many Tormod's Crypts? Only 1, though they do run a Soul Guide Lantern in the side as well, so maybe trimming an Emrakul instead. Those 2 Force Negations make me feel like we should trim on an Ugin. Let's run it back like this. Hand's pretty slow. And they begin with 7. What's our hits off top here? Nothing much that would accelerate me into like a Myco on 2. It would be a turn 3 play at earliest. Let's mulligan. This is interesting though. I will keep. What do we want to pitch back? Probably the Sprawl. Because we go Gemstone, Lab, Rumble. We want to keep a Lab. Now we'll pitch the Shifting. Done. Gemstone, Exile, Pass. Myanmar. Tamiyo. Would love to see a summon value spell or Temple. Sprawl. Lab. No Imprint. Rumble. Rumble finds Ice Till and Breaker. The only issue with the Ice Tills, we're short on green sources. Otherwise, I think that would be the right call. Instead, I'll grab Breaker. And pass. And hold. Rebuke and Sign are both up now. Saga trigger. Amber. Tamiyo trigger. Yield all. Quantum Riddler, draw 2. Trigger Tamiyo. Means we can no longer K command. Instead, we need to put pressure on board. Tamiyo pluses. I wonder if they choose the Consign the Riddler Warp trigger. Bauble target me. End step warp and Bauble trigger. Draw. Bog. Bog is not doing much here. Lab. Imprint. Hold command. Five in hand. Saga trigger. If a land, they could play the Riddler. Sure enough, they could do so now. Tamiyo plus, up to 6. We do need to deal with this Tamiyo ASAP. Riddler Warp. Trigger. Draws a card. Second main warp. I'm going to hold this K command until they tap out the Saga, ideally. Myco spawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, that makes this interesting. Bajukabog, target you. Again, we need to deal damage or exile the Tameo. And that's going to be a lot easier said than done is the problem. I'm going to hold the K command, see if they make a Saga token. They do in response will K command. That tells me they have consign. Shit. That does complicate things now, doesn't it? That will resolve. What do you grab? Yeah, the fact they didn't make a Saga just demonstrates they have the K command or Rebuke. Soul Guide Lantern eats the Ice Till. In retrospect, maybe I should have K command on their end step. And that would have been permission for the Myco, that we didn't know we were drawing into the Myco, admittedly. So it would have been permission for nothing at that point. Flame. Draw 2. And that will resolve. Go to end step. K command. Ramp and scry draw. X equals 2. Paying cost for the consign that we figured they had in hand. We'll draw Temple. 4, 5, 6. I mean, I guess we can kick the Myco at this point. Myco kick. I'll kick the Myanmar. Scouting turn, fetch 19. Do you have another consign? If so, we might just concede at this point. They do not. Okay, promising. I mean, we can fight through half their deck for all intent and purpose. Paying cost. Rebuke. Consign. We'll pass in full. Tis problematic. No attacks. And pass. Tameo draws half their deck. And we're not exactly dead yet now, are we? Cutter. Bobble trigger. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. One short breaker. Tameo. Opal trigger. I guess they could try. Don't know if they can go for an OTK there. Down to 17. Draw. Temple. Return breaker to hand. Temple. Breaker break the Saga. Pass. Show me another consign. Paying cost. Sure enough, there is the consign. Triggers. Methinks this is probably over. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's not necessarily over. We still have turns. They've gotten through 3 consigns. There's a theoretical world where we actually can mill them out with an Emrakul. It's asking for a lot. But if they don't pay attention to the number of types in yard and lands, then there is a possibility. I'm going to force them to go through the effort because we do have potential outs with 3 consigns down. Obviously, the chance of them having the 4th consign in hand are relatively large. Not to mention if the Tamiya starts chaining consigns, then that becomes an issue in its own right. Cutter. Problem is we only have 2 hits off top for the Emrakul. I mean, right now we're looking at 3, 5, 7 damage. If they have Repeal, which they should have Repeal or Boomerang basics, they should be able to loop some of their 0 cost and win here. But I'll force them to go through the motions. Like, demonstrate to me that you have the win and I'll concede. But there's a world where we do rally back. Tamiya triggers, no blocks. Down to 10. Bob will target me. And imagine if they see an Emrakul, they crack the Soul Guide. I'd imagine, at least. End step, trigger, draw, and draw. Myco spawn. I will kick with the Myco spawn. Myco kick, target Saga, yield all. You have your 4th consign to memory. Looks like they're making a construct. They do make a construct. It is an 8/8, but no trample. The problem is Tamiya is going to pick up a consign here. And Bojuka Bog's already on board. Shifting Woodland would just mean they're probably going to crack the Soul Guide Lantern. We could Ghost Quarter, but I don't think that's going to do much. I guess we can fetch Surveil. Sure. And pass. But I'm pretty sure we should just be dead here on this following turn. Because we can block a monk. And then we'll fetch Surveil on end step. The 3rd cutter. Yeah, we'll pack it up there. We're good. I don't think I can deal with a board that wide with my current board state. Alright, rumble back in, gemstone out, run it back. Yeah, like on that turn where we found the Myco spawn, we needed the Emrakul. Had we found it, I think there was a very real possibility we could have won. But unfortunately, no such luck. On the play for game 3, we will keep. Reveal, trigger, lab, another Trinisphere. We don't need another Trinisphere. I was waiting for a green source. I'll go another lab. And in that case, we'll lab, imprint, devour, and pass. No, I don't really care for a turn in this matchup. Like, the monks can go wide, but we don't really want to get to the point where they are going wide. That's the thing. Like, if they get to the point of being wide, we don't want to be in that position to begin with. We'd rather stop them with, let's say, a Trinisphere. Ball will target self. Okay. The thing is they're still holding up a blue source, so I do fear consign. We'll yield all. They'll draw 2. And draw. And there's the lab. We'll play the temple and use the K command as permission. Because we want this Trinisphere to resolve. Yeah, they're holding up consign then. That much is certain. K command, rampant scry draw. We would really like to see a forest to forest equivalent here though. Hell, even a talisman would do. Show me the consign like I think you have. And there it is. Perfect. Permission has been granted. There's the Verdant Cat as well. We'll start with Actually, I guess we could start with 1, 2, 3, 4 Rumble Trinosphere. So I will go Verdant Cat fetch for a forest and Rumble. Force check, no force. We lack the green source right now. We can kick the Mica Spawn next turn. I guess we could just chain kick. Yeah, we're gonna chain kick. And then cast Trinosphere. And pass. And one scoops it up. We got the win. Solid. Alright, we'll be back for match number 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. We'll keep. Yep. Windswept Teeth fetch for a forest, sprawl, green, pass, and pass. Overrun Tomb Shock, could be Yawgmoth, feels like Yawgmoth. We draw, Devour, Lab, Imprint, Devour, Rumble, keep a green source, Speaker, Commercial District, K command, or K return. I will grab the speaker, question mark. Yes, we'll grab the speaker. Unfortunately, we can't play the speaker this turn. Oh, no, we can. What am I talking about? Forgot about the spawn for a second there. Speaker. Speaker, pitch. Stomping Ground. We'll have 7 next turn. We could theoretically sweep the board. Yeah, we'll pitch the Stomp. In fact, I guess we could just play Ugin, actually. So, what do I want to play is the question. We're clearly short on Emrakul, it's not Emrakul. I think Devour would make the most sense here. We'll grab Devour and pass. So we're going to imprint Devour, play the Ugin, and that should be GG's, I think. They just can't really deal with Ugin all too well. So short of a Boseiju, I think we're good. No, I don't think we even care about destroying a land here. I think we just go for Ugin and say GG's. Well, I guess the Saga says otherwise. So Halfling Saga Tomb feels like Broodscale, actually. Which does make this Ugin much worse by comparison, if that is the case. Not a fan of that. Kinda wish I grabbed Breaker now. 2. Rumble. Well, there's the Boseiju. Cast Legendary Spell. Channels and casting. So they can't Boseiju this turn. Chooses Boseiju. Interesting. I mean, it still feels like Yawgmoth, just the Saga's what's tripping me up. Bobble as well. I swear to God, this has to be like a Yawgmoth Broodscale hybrid. Lab, Imprint, Devour. Tap, untap. Ugin target, yield all. Ugin plus draw. Rumble pass. And pass. Saga trigger. They have the Boseiju for what it's worth, but I don't exactly care too much about that. Down to 17. Overrun Tomb Shock. Grist takes down Ugin. Rude. Ugin down. We'll draw Temple. So in that case, we can go 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So we can do some fun things here. We can tap, untap. We can get rid of Grist, return, Temple, cast Devour, Devour devours Grist, yield all, and no, and pass. The Seiju's still up. We have a Rumble next turn. And we have a 2-turn clock now. We'll pass. Saga trigger. Still worried about this being Broodscale potentially. Tap 1. Do you find Blade? There is Blade. Shit. I don't think you have enough for Blade into Brood. I guess you know you do. You haven't played a land for turn. Also, you can Brood, you can adapt, but you can't equip Blade. So you're 1 turn short of the combo kill. Unless you have a Boseiju. Boseju's fine. I will play Stomping Ground tapped. So Boseju's out. So no Brood this turn then. Next turn we can Rumble. This is double green, right? I guess we don't care about the red source though. So we'll Rumble next turn. Go digging. We could find a Myco spawning kick, set them back a land. Because we'll have 6 mana after the Rumble. Opponent's thinking hard here. So yeah, it definitely seems like some form of Yogg scaled list. A mixture of Yogg plus Brood. I thought most of these versions got phased out, but looks like this person's playing them regardless. Interesting. Question is, do I classify it as Yogg or Broodscale? I'd probably say more Broodscale. I think at its core it is just Brood with Yogg tacked on. Dredger's Insight. And chooses, I imagine, Grist. Chooses Grist. Yep, makes sense. Up to 16. We draw. Ice Till. Let's still start with the Rumble, yeah? We can Ice Till still after Rumble. Would love to see Myco, or even just Ghost Quarter here to Ghost Quarter the Saga. What say you, opponent? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're currently 4 short Emrakul, but we do have enough types in our deck to get that 8. So there's a world where we do play Emrakul. No such luck, though. I'll grab, I suppose, the Talisman or a land. Have you played a land for turn? We have not. They could play Endurance, yeah, that's true. I'll grab the Wooded Foothill. Play it for turn. And fetch down to 21. for a forest and ice till. I will pick up the commercial district or the shifting wood. We're going to pick up the shifting wood and mill. Sprawl to yard. And I will go to combat now. Attack. This pushes you down to 8. Lethal's on board. Ideally now we can mill into a lethal threat with Ice Till. Halfling. They could sack it to Grist to get rid of the Devour, I suppose. But then we still have the Shifting, so that's not a right... That's a mistake. I can just bring it back with Shifting, so even if they have Endurance here, it doesn't exactly matter much, now does it? So this is GG's. Yep, so that's GG's, friend. The Shifting Woodland's relevant here. Okay, return. No reason to do much else, so we're just going to target Devour. And done. Yeah, you forgot a important card there, friendo. You have no mana. Opponent scoops it up. We'll take the win. Solid. So, Yogg Skill. We're going to need a removal package. I forget what my general plan is against Broodscale. Probably want to do something similar. Let's take a look at the sideboard guide once it opens up, that is. Taking a while. Sideboard guide. Do I have Broodscale on here? I do not. I guess we could look at Yogg. We keep the Rumble. I'd imagine based on the colors, they shouldn't have any land destruction, so I still 6 out. Bring in Dismember. We keep a Jukabog, trim a Rumble, Ghost Quarter, and I think we could run this back like this. Though maybe we keep the Ghost Quarter for the Saga and dump Ugin. Though it is Yogg Scale, which makes Ugin a little bit better otherwise. Same thing with Devour. Let's instead trim a Emrakul, since they should have some Grave Hate. Yes, let's run back like this. I mean, we'll keep it for sure. Cake Man X212, very relevant. Would love to find a green source though for the kicked Maiko. I will keep. Opponent mulligans down to 6. Down to 5. Promising. They will keep their 5. I'll pass in full. Windswept Teeth. Pass. Draw. Sprawl. Imprint Breaker. And pass. And hold on the off chance it's relevant. Did you hit your land drop? You did. Saga trigger. Fetch Windswept Teeth 19. Dredger's Insight. Rumble. Close. Ballista, Thoughtseize, Soul Cauldron, Blade of the Blood Chief. Imagine you grab the Blade. Yep. I don't think they can go for the Broodscale line next turn because that costs 1, 2, 3, 4. So short of a Temple, which I'm pretty sure they don't run, they can't Broodscale unless they have a Ballista. Sack, Blade, interesting. We'll draw. Talisman. Lab. Imprint. Ugin. Hold K command. Saga trigger. Windswept Teeth, fetch 18. Overgrown Tomb Shock 16. Show me the Broodscale. Indeed. Do you go to equip? Do it, coward. Equip. In response, I'll ramp and exile. And done. Brood down. Blade fails. And draw. Devour. We'll play the Ghost Quarter. Play Talisman. Kick Myco. Blade triggers, don't care. We'll hit the Saga. Yield all. Saga down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grab Temple. Yes, we'll grab Temple and pass. I'd love a land off top so I can break that blade. Land for turn. 2. Beseiju. Hits the Ugin. Should have hit the breaker in my opinion. Commercial District Surveil. Myco top. Burning Catacomb, fetch 15. 1 card in hand. What is it, a halfling? 13. Young Wolf. We should get rid of the Young Wolf here. Though I guess if I Bajuka Bog their yard, do I care much about that actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we could get rid of the Young Wolf. I mean, if they have a Brood, they could equip, they could play it, but they couldn't do anything else after. I will exile the Young Wolf, I think. I think that's probably the wisest decision. Yield all. Not to mention applies more pressure to board. There are 1 short of lethal. Down to 10. Though it does mean now they can't fetch or shock. Three. Grist. Fulminator Mage. Interesting. So I guess we should have kept the Ice Tills then. Fulminator Mage, it's the lab. Sure. But all this see an untapped land. Sprawl, no such luck. Oh, in retrospect, I could have played the Sprawl last turn. I completely forgot about that. Whoops. 4 green. Yeah, but I'll scoop it up regardless. We probably should have played the Sprawl last turn. That way could have kicked the Mega Spawn this turn, went to Bajuka Ball, get a land, but Bone scoops it up regardless. We'll take the win. Alright, and we'll be back for match number 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. Opponent Mulligans down to 6. We're looking for a soul land off Devour. Ideally a lab so we can K-Command on 2. Opponent Mulligans down to 5. That's promising. They keep 5. Chancellor of the... what? I'm concerned. Are we going to get turn 1 Neoformed? No shot. Chancellor. Green. Shatter Skull. What? Oh. Ruby Stone? What? Huh. Chancellor of the Tangle. Ruby Storm. Fascinating. It could be Mono Red Belcher as well, I guess, yeah. We'll play the Temple and pass. Hold on the off chance it's relevant. Huh. Yep, that is in fact Mono Red Belcher. Okay, not looking good here. Discards Chancellor, since it's already done what it needs to do. They draw 2, miss their land drop. We'll draw Ice Till. We'll play the Forest, hold up K command, X equals 1. What I need right now is Myco spawning Ghost Quarter, Talent, Passing, End Step, Ramp Scry Draw. At the very least, next turn we can play the Ice Till and try and ramp to this Breaker. There's 6 bottom, Forest, draw, Sire. I will play the Forest and Ice Till. Commercial District Surveil. There's Myco. We'll top the Myco and pass. And pass. Next turn we can kick the Shatter Skull. Do you pass? Please tell me you pass. Kind of. Draw. Misty Rain Mill. Fetch. Stomping Ground Shock. Now we can go Forest Mill. Rumble. Kick Myco. Myco kick target Shatter Skull. Grab Ghost Quarter. Mill. Yield all. Ghost Quarter target Stoneforge. And opponent screwed it up. We took the win. Honestly, we got really lucky there that opponent kept a risky hand. So returns out, 6 out, Bajuka Bog out, Trim Rumble, bring in Trinisphere, bring in Flute. I forget if Mono Red Belcher plays Ral. It's been a minute since I've played against it. Let me take a look, see if I can find a Mono Red Belcher list. Honestly, it might be more difficult than I would like it to be, though. Because I found Blue Belcher easily, of course, but Red Belcher, I imagine, is not as popular for obvious reasons. Looks like I did find a Mono Red Belcher list. Doesn't look like it runs Ral, so I don't think I need removal like Dismember. But looking at the list, they still run... Oh, they don't run Impulse Draws, do they? It doesn't look like it. Not in the same capacity. So, Soulless Jailer might not be necessary. Though there's nothing else we have here. I guess we could theoretically bring in a Fade. Sideboard, a Braid, Vexing Bauble, Redirect Lightning, Lantern of the Lost. Okay. Yeah, I feel like Fade might be the right choice because again, the Impulse Draws just aren't there, so the Jailer's probably a no. So bringing a Fade. All right. I do kind of hate this matchup. I hate when matchups get like or squished together because it means that like trying to approach the matchup from a sideboard perspective just gets so clunky. Like you need to attack 2 different angles, or rather getting attacked from 2 different angles. So you need to like adjust your sideboard plan to attack both angles individually. It just gets so messy. It's one of my least favorite things, like Reanimator Zoo or Yogg Scale, Mono Red Belcher, which is really just Storm plus Belcher because they can go for the Scion instead. If we can find a 7 of value spell off top, this hand is gas. This hand would be absolute gas. I will keep another 2 chance of the tango. I swear to God. We'll pass. Mystic Peak. Do you have a ritual into Ironcrag Feet for the win on 1? No shot. Reunion. Pitch a Chancellor, I'd imagine. Okay. Still a bit scary. They shouldn't have much else, I don't think, though. We'll draw. Myco. In that case, we go Rainforest, pass, and we hope to surveil into a 7-mana value spell for Trinisphere. Shatter Skull. Medallion. I'll fetch now, surveil, Forest Yard, and pass, and draw. Forest. I will play the forest and hold the flute. If they go for the Belcher line, then we can make it work. If they go for the Scion line, we can at least stop the haste and give us a turn. Yep. What say you, opponent? Otherwise, next turn we can Trinisphere for sure. Tapped. Okay. Medallion is fine. I think I might just flute here now and name Belcher. So let's flute now. Name Goblin Charbelcher. Charbelcher's offline. We draw. Breaker. You're a bit late, friend. I'll imprint the Breaker, cast the Talisman, and then the Trinisphere, and pass. That way next turn we can kick Myco and then Ghost Quarter, potentially. So their Storm Plan is currently hampered, and their Belcher plan is currently offline until they get Flute and Trinisphere off. Next turn we can start kicking with Myco Spawn. The thing is they probably brought in a mountain, so we're probably going to forgo the Ghost Quarter right away and just ramp into the Breaker. Try and break 3 lands. Can we get there? Opponent passes. That's promising. Sire. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in that case, we will imprint. And we will kick. Myco kick. And we'll scoop it up. We'll take the win. Solid. All right. We'll be back for match number 5. All right. And we're back for match number 5 on the draw for game 1. So, taking a bit of a gamble here. Last time we played against his opponent, they were on Storm. The time before that, they're on Energy. I'm hoping they're on Energy here, because his hand's great into Energy, just not into Storm. Sacred Foundry Shock, 17, that feels like Energy. I hate the Ragavan, but I'd rather play against Energy than I would Storm. Lab. Imprint. Devour. Talisman. Pass. And pass. So next turn we can K return. Ragavan will connect. Ragavan pilfers a speaker. A little bit unfortunate, but fine. They'll surveil. white, guide, into Pride. Yup. Alright. Pride, guide, trigger, draw. Sanctum. I will go Stomping Ground tapped. And pass, hold the K return. Let's see if they overextend into it. I mean, I know you want to grow the guide. Yep, guide trigger. Always yield. And Pride triggered the guides. Perfect. And K return is here to make you miserable. Triggers, always yield those. Trigger on the stack, target the cat token, and K return, pass. Yeah, this is the biggest trap for energy players into this matchup. You just do not want to overextend into the K return. We'll draw Temple. I will start with Rumble. Bajukabog, Eldrazi. Ooh. Unfortunately, we don't... Actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to grab the Temple. But I'm going to play Shifting Wood. And now we can start attacking with Emrakul from the yard with Shifting Wood next turn. We'll pass. And hold, and off chance they discharge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bombardment is fine. We draw. Sanctum. Ugin. Ugin, target bombardment. Sanctum trigger. Yield all and yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll grab Cyrus 7 death. Ugin plus draw. Myco spawn pass. And pass. Ugin presents a 2-turn clock. Arid Mesa, 1 in hand. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is just GG's. White, a Johnny, trigger, and draw, sprawl. Ugin plus draw, K command. Sprawl, green, Myco kick. We should have another Temple, right? Ugin target, Myco kick, yield all. Grab Temple, K commands, instant speed, exile based removal. And Ugin represents lethal next turn. I guess not lethal, but a game-ending threat. Opponent will be left with nothing on board. We'll put it that way. So short of a discharge, they should lose here. We'll take the win. Solid. Let's go to sideboard. We'll bring in the heat, drop the 6, trim a Rumble. And I'm always back and forth on this Ghost Quarter versus an Emrakul, but I think I'll trim out the Ghost Quarter, run it back. Or rather, cut the Ghost Quarter. Alrighty. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that energy players do sometimes fail to realize, is that if I have the potential for K return mana, you just cannot overextend like that. We can make this work. Any land will do, but a forest to forest equivalent or a lab or temple would be perfect. We'll keep. Opponent Mulligans down to 6 is promising, especially on the play. Reveal Devour and pass. Windswept Teeth fetch 19, Sacred Foundry Shock 4. Moragavan. End step, trigger, finds Windswept Teeth, Shifting Wood. We'll grab the Wooded Foothill. Wooded Foothill, fetch. For a forest, sprawl. For red or for green? We'll go red here. And pass, because there's no chance we play the ice till next turn. Next turn we can K command X2 on 2. Ragavan Curse will attack and will pilfer. Down to 17. Ragavan finds a Myco spawn. That would have been nice. Would have been able to kick next turn. Or not kicks next turn, but turn 3 after the K command. 3 mana. Do you have a Blood Moon? Blood Moon actually would be kind of rough here since we're short on color sources. Voice of Victory's fine. And draw. Verdant Cat. I am thinking we go Temple. So we have to K command now. Do I get rid of the Ragavan or the voice is the question. I mean, you could always block the Ragavan with a spawn, so we could get rid of the voice, block the Ragavan. That doesn't seem too bad here, honestly. Let's K command ramp and exile the voice, because voice represents 3 damage, Ragavan 2, but Ragavan can be blocked, and I'd also like to play my K commands at instant speed, please. And we'll hold 4 in hand. So they attack, we'll chump block, and then prime another K command. Go to blocks, we block. So even if they play a Blood Moon now, we have Talisman into K command, so that's fine too. Arid Mesa fetch 14. If they find a Plains, that's a Blood Moon. Yep, Blood Moon. Flage, okay, not a Blood Moon. Helix, target spawn, sack and response, and pass in full. They don't have enough for Flage yet. Keywords, we'll draw. Devour. So, how would I like to proceed here? We can go Verdant Cat fetch for a forest. I don't think we need to worry about sprawl stacking. At the same time, I guess I do if they play Molten Rain instead of Charmal. So let's play around that by not sprawl stacking, which means we'll need to, I guess let's do it like this then. Talisman, sprawl, for green or for red. This one's already red, so we'll go for green. And we have a K command X2 and then a Devour as follow-up. Ragavan will attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to scry draw exile the Ragavan, though I guess a Blood Moon would kind of be pretty bad, so I guess we should ramp an exile actually. We'll ramp an exile. And done. I suppose I also could have ramped scry drawed and just blocked one with the yeah, I could have blocked instead. Yeah, give and take. Either ways, Ragavan's down. Second main. I'd love for you to play something that I can exile to Devour. That would be nice. Maybe another reason why we could have ramp and scry draw, but there's the Pride. And a Johnny. Thraben Charm is rude. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's still fine. We draw. Bajuka Bog. Jesus. Talk about a fantastic top deck there. Devour, target Pride. Bajuka Bog, target you, and pass. And hold. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One short Emrakul. Blood Moon doesn't matter now. Honestly, I'm just tempted not even to get rid of the Blood Moon. But I also have no reason not to, because we present lethal on board. We'll draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Temple. Devour. Devour the Blood Moon. Pass. Go to combat. Swing for 6. Lethal's on board. Down to 8. One card in hand. I don't think you really have an out here. I can't think of one, at least. Other than a card that reads, I win the game. 3. Even Flage won't do it. Charmaw, sure. Charmaw's fine, I don't care. It's a temple. Bit late. And draw. Speaker. No reason to play Speaker right now. We'll attack all. Forces you to block. Yep. End step. Down to 2 and pass. A Johnny. I guess the Speaker would have presented lethal then. Admittedly, we'll draw. Myco. I will Myco kick. Myco kick, target Foundry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Go to combat, swing for 6. You have to block 2. And Johnny out. And again, short of a card reading I win the game, I don't think you can come back from this. What say you, friendo? You have 2 cards in hand with 2 lands. You would need 3 blockers to survive. Opponent says, GG, that K return was sick. I got way too excited with that hand. GG's, friend. GG's. Solid. All right. Well, that there will be a 4-1 record at the end of 5, our only loss being to Moonshadow, which for some reason this season I have noticed that I generally do struggle against. Not sure if it's I don't have enough experience against it or just the fact that we don't really put a lot of bodies on board early. I mean, that Moonshadow really does get a lot of free value in the early turns. So like on turn 2, we're getting clocked for 3, 4 damage. Turn 3, we get clocked for another 5, 6 on top of which. So like Moonshadow definitely is a little bit tricksy unless I do have removal in hand, which in game 1 really is only K command, as K return oftentimes cannot clear Moonshadow by the time I'm able to play it. So something to think about if Moonshadow becomes more popular, but right now it definitely is on the fringes of the meta, so I'm not too concerned. Regardless though, very solid wins against Cutter, Yogg Scale, Belcher, Red Belcher, and Energy. With that being said though, folks, that there will be the end of tonight's YouTube video. As always, if you did enjoy it, please consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback be much appreciated. For as much that I hope y'all learn from me in both my success and failure, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you're enjoying the video and haven't already, please consider hitting the subscribe button as we do continue to grow this channel. However, if you would like to watch these videos recorded live over on Twitch, you can find me there Sundays through Thursdays at 10 p.m. CST and Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. CST for the weekend challenges. Otherwise, you can head over to my Patreon where you can find these videos ad-free and early. On a separate note, I do want to actually make a quick announcement that will probably interrupt my stream schedule, not in the immediate future, but in the, I would say, relative near future. 3 months from now, TLDR, I have been notified by my place of work, where I get my subsidized housing from, that they're no longer going to be providing housing. So my partner and I are going to be planning a move here in the next 3 months towards the end of May. So while I am not going to sit here and say that you guys need to support me monetarily in any way, I will say if you do want to, get some benefits from some early access from Patreon, or do you want to support me over on Twitch, it'd be much appreciated. Will help with that move and making the transition just a little bit easier, and will allow me to start streaming when I'm back on the East Coast that much faster. I would say once the new season starts, we are going to be opening up the ability for users to submit deck lists by gifting 5 gift subs. I'll play those on Sunday. I'll create an Excel spreadsheet. You'll send me a link. I will then play it on a Sunday through a full league, and that will also get uploaded to YouTube as well. So if that does sound interesting to you, it would be very much appreciated if you do join. Like I said, I'll be starting that come on Tuesday. But that being said, thank you much for hearing me out. And yeah, any and all way you can support, it is very much appreciated. As like I said, it's a bit unexpected. We thought we were going to get a bit more time before I move. When I say a bit more time, I'm thinking we are thinking 2028. But things got a little bit accelerated. So here we are, and just want to give you guys that heads up, as it might mean some interruptions to stream going forward. But with that being said, that there will be then the stream end of the video for tonight, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.